Hi, I'm Chalene Johnson, New York Times bestselling author, the creator of many fitness programs you've probably seen on late night infomercials like Turbo Jam, Chalene Extreme, Turbo Fire. I'm also the founder of the Marketing Impact Academy, and I'm here today with one of my very good friends. She's someone who I've learned a ton from, and I wanted to talk to her today about something I know so many people ask me about. It's something I know I was fascinated by, and I know it's something that's going to help so many of you get to that next level and kind of understand that there is the opportunity to create a plan B, to find your passion, to create an income, and you can start tomorrow. My friend Natalie Jill, you probably know her from Instagram as Natalie Jill Fit. What is our YouTube?
Natalie Jill Fitness.
Natalie Jill Fitness. And she's just a remarkable person who's helped hundreds of thousands of people lose weight and, more importantly, find themselves. And Natalie has created programs like the Mind Body Academy. She's created the 7-Day Jumpstart, programs that have changed and transformed people's lives. But what you probably don't know about Natalie is that not too long ago, this wasn't your story.
No, it wasn't at all.
And I think most people see you and they probably see both of us and think, oh, you've always been into fitness, or you've always had tremendous success in business. And I think what most people need to understand is it doesn't matter what business you're in. Everyone starts someplace, and a lot of times that is the catalyst for the change. To make something happen in your life and to help other people is when you hit your bottom.
Yeah.
And I know that for you was that moment.
Yeah. I never would have thought a few years back that I'd be sitting here right now today sharing my success with my fitness and nutrition business and how I've reached people. I couldn't have imagined it. In fact, it wasn't but a few years ago where I remember going to the gas station to put gas in my car, and I started to fill up, put the gas in the nozzle and put my credit card in, and it had been declined. And here I was, someone who had never had credit card debt, and I'm sitting there in debt, and I don't even know how to put gas in my car.
Yeah.
And
that moment.
Yeah, just everything sunk, and I felt lost and could not have imagined I'd be here today talking with you about this.
It's funny, I had that same panic, like even now, today, I mean, despite the success that we have and the money that I know is in the bank account, I had that same thing happen where you hand someone a credit card and my credit card declined, and I just remember this line of people behind me and feeling so embarrassed and ashamed because it wasn't a mistake with the credit card. I knew I was maxed out in every card. I knew that I had bought things I couldn't afford, and it's the worst feeling.
It's the worst feeling, and I felt like I felt like a phony at the time. Like, people think I'm okay, and I'm not, and I felt stuck, and I didn't even.
So when this happened, what was going on in your life? What stages? So we hadn't met yet.
No, we had not met. I was working in corporate America, and I had what people would have thought was a stable, secure job. But I had just come off going through a divorce, and I had lost my house, and I was a newly single mom, and I had to take a voluntary demotion at my corporate job because I was traveling so much, and I could not travel
and
not travel and be a mom as a single mom.
Right.
So I had taken a voluntary demotion, and I had really got caught up in the debt from losing my house and the divorce, and I was eating and gaining weight and not taking care of myself.
Stress.
I was stressed, I was depressed, and I felt lost.
Yeah.
I felt really lost.
And in that moment, who do you rely on if it's just you and it's just your daughter and you feel like everyone, you're responsible now for the two of you?
Yeah, and not only that, I was married to my best friend, who was now my ex-husband, so I didn't have him to talk to. I was living on the West Coast. My family and friends, my good friends, were on the East Coast. So I felt alone.
Did they know how bad it was?
They did not know how. Now they know. They did not know how bad it was, and I was almost too proud to ask for help.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to tell them.
I think a lot of us are like that. It's like, well, I think people will think less of me if they know how bad it is right now, or that, and I don't want to ask anyone for help, and this is mine to fix.
Yeah.
And it's a tough place to be, because I think we all have to learn how to ask for help, but it's also what gave you the resolve to fix it yourself.
So what happened was, I remember this day so clearly. I was walking my daughter and my dogs, and I had caught a glimpse of myself. You know the mirrors, the windows you walk by that have the mirror reflection.
Yeah.
I caught this glimpse of myself, and I thought, whoa, who is this person? Like, maybe it's true. Maybe you have a baby, and if you get depressed, you just gain weight, and that's what happens. That's how you gain weight. And
you literally didn't recognize.
I didn't recognize myself, and it hit me that this is not who I want to be, and this is not who I know I can be.
Right.
And I went home that day, and I put my daughter down for a nap, and I took out magazines. I had a bunch of magazines, and I started ripping out pictures of what I would dream to have my life be. And I did that because I was in sales training for years at my corporate job, and I always talked about vision boards, but I never had actually really done it myself.
Yeah.
I talked to everybody else about, you have to make a vision board.
You have to be able to see it.
So I did it. I pulled out pictures of a fit lifestyle, happiness, a house by the beach, doing something with fitness. I thought, I'm so out of shape right now, but I guess in my dream world, I'd like to be doing something with fitness. So I tore out pictures and I made a vision board, and that's the moment when things started to change.
That day.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're working full time, you're trying to get yourself back, and you lose a ton of weight. And you started kind of journaling that process.
Yeah, so the vision board started it, and I just pulled out everything I knew. I had always studied fitness and nutrition. It was an interest and a hobby of mine, but I hadn't applied it as a job, and I hadn't applied it to myself. So I did it. I just started applying it to myself. I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat this way that I know will work. I'm going to move and do these things. And I started journaling it, and I started taking pictures of my food. That was a big thing.
Okay.
And
like with a camera?
Yeah, my phone.
Your phone.
I would eat a meal, and I would take a picture of it to journal it. And also, I think I wanted a little bit of attention or a support system from friends.
Got it.
So I had started Facebook, not for a business reason. It was a personal thing, but I started posting
like that
pictures.
Accountability.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, if I journal and I make that journal public, I'm not only keeping myself accountable, you start keeping other people accountable too.
Exactly. So I started posting pictures of my food from my camera. And I could not believe the response and questions I started getting. People, first of all, were grateful that I was sharing my food pictures, which go figure.
Right.
And they wanted more information. They wanted to know what I was eating all the time, how I was doing it, and they started to see a transformation in me and wanted to know what I was doing.
Yeah. I think for so many people, the change, a lot of people change their lives, and they figure out that they want to have their own business, and they figure out what they want to do with their lives. And sometimes it starts from going to a seminar, and sometimes it starts from learning something about personal development. But for so many people, it's about, it starts with a little bit of weight loss, and then you start to feel like, gosh, anything's possible.
It was the one thing I felt I had control over.
Okay.
That I could control what I'm doing with my body, my fitness, my nutrition right now. I couldn't control anything else. I couldn't control my finances.
Right.
I couldn't control the fact that I was a single mom. I couldn't control the fact that I had just gone through a divorce or I lost my house. But I could control one thing, and that's what I started to control.
Right. So now I know a little bit about your story. So you start journaling these things. You're taking these pictures. Everybody's asking questions. At what point do you realize, hey, I could share my knowledge. I could sell my knowledge.
So a couple people started saying, you should start a recipe book. And I thought, me? Start a recipe book? I'm not an author. I don't know anything about publishing a book or anything. And somebody told me, do an ebook. I didn't even know what that was. I remember Googling ebook. I had no idea what that meant. It's like electronic book, if you don't know what that means. And I thought, okay. So I literally started a Word document on my computer with my phone pictures, inserting them, and wrote out what the meal was. And I sat there looking up how many calories, portions, everything. And I made a Word document. And I sold it for $12.
So you're selling this thing now. I mean, people are actually buying it from you. Yeah. And you're just using your iPhone pictures. How many pages is it?
It was, believe, 11 to start the initial one.
And how are people even finding out about it, from like Facebook, social media?
Just Facebook, and them telling their friends. So somebody would buy it from me, and then they would make a note, and somebody else would see it on Facebook, and then they would ask me about it.
And you're not a chef, and you've never made recipes before. And these are basically other people's recipes, your own tweak on it, or whatever.
These were mostly my made-up healthy recipes.
This
Just
is it?
Yeah, this was it. And this is actually the first. This is a page from the first one, and look, it's literally just my iPhone picture.
Can you see it on camera?
In fact, it's almost embarrassing now because I look at it like that does not look very appetizing. It looks like grass. I put grass in a blender.
This kills me.
It doesn't look. I wasn't trying to be a professional.
So
with
it's like you didn't use a food stylist. What I love about it though is it was real.
It was real, and I didn't let the thought of I need a food stylist and I need all these professional pictures. I didn't let that get in my way because I didn't want to overanalyze it. I just wanted to share the information.
Okay, I have to stop you right there because that is so huge. So many people are paralyzed by fear that someone's going to go, well, this picture isn't perfect, or that's not the way I make the recipe, or it's not, the graphics aren't, that they're paralyzed by perfection, like worrying that it has to be perfect before you get it out. And you just have to get it, whatever it is that's on your heart, that's on your brain, that's yours to share with the world. Get it out there, even if it's not that great the first attempt, because it'll get better.
And that's what I did. And I remember being so excited that I would get an email notification that somebody had bought the book, and I had to physically email it to them myself. But I was happy to do it. I'm making.
So they're sending what, like PayPal?
I set it up so PayPal would take a payment, and I would get an email notification, and then I had to email the person this Word document, which was now a PDF.
Okay.
Which was fine, and I would sell 2 or 3 a day, and it was exciting to me. That might not sound like a lot of money, but that adds up. I mean, that's paying for diapers, it's paying for a dinner out, it's paying extra money.
Right.
And
at what point do you say, okay, this is turning into a job. This is a business. I could quit my job.
Well, it was the $12 a day, the few of them started creeping up.
Okay.
And next thing you know, I realized I've made a few $1,000s on this. And that's some real money. So I'm starting to get the idea that maybe I should do more of this. So I was answering via email on Facebook questions about how to put these into a diet.
Now, I have to say that has got to build. So a woman who's alone, has started to lose weight, has started to find herself, has started to help other people, started to find a way to bring in extra income. That's got to be incredibly powerful for the way you feel about yourself.
It's funny because it really did a lot for my confidence. And it's funny now because people will say, oh, you did well with ebooks because you have this big following. And I think, no, that's completely backwards. I had no following, and I shared something, and that grew my following.
Right.
That grew. So it was the opposite.
See, that's why it was really important for me to have people hear from you, because I've been on TV. People have seen me on late night. They realize I have exercise DVDs, and the way that we met was I was so inspired by your pictures and the story and all the people who I was seeing that you had helped. I'm like, who is this girl? Like, I literally was like, who is this person? And then to find out that this person wasn't in fitness. This person didn't have, an infomercial and a name and a book and all these things. This is someone who built their business, their following from the ground up by just helping people.
Yeah, and it's always amusing to me when someone thinks that I did well with it because of my following, or they'll say, "Oh, well, you're a fitness celebrity." I'm a fitness celebrity. I'm a mom who created recipes for my iPhone. That's how I look at it.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing to me how that spiraled. So
I can't let that be an excuse. I mean, people have to understand it wasn't too many years ago. I mean, less than 3 years ago that you weren't known in the fitness industry or in the nutrition industry, and I know that's kind of how we've labeled you, but honestly, I mean, I've read the stories, I've read the comments from the people who are, I mean, you change people's lives from the inside out. You motivate them to do something.
And that makes me feel great because I believe that I have too, and I did that because not just, when I saw how much people were inspired and learning from my recipes, I wanted to create a 7-day plan, which led me to my 7-day jumpstart, which was the next step, because I took what I had done with the recipes and I wrote another Word document. Again, not using professional photographers, not using anything.
Just you sitting down at the computer.
Just me, and I put together what is the 7-day jumpstart, which has gone from a Word document and me sitting down over a weekend, sharing everything I had figured out about transformation, losing the weight and keeping it off, just writing it all out. That has turned into $500,000 in short of 2 years.
So you see, people, and you know this, people all the time think, well, I want to get an infomercial, and I want to get a book deal, and I want to be on the cover of a magazine, or I've got this great business idea. And I just keep saying, everything has changed because of the internet. Scale it all back. You don't need to get a deal. You don't need an agent. You don't need all these special things. You need your computer. More specifically, you need your iPhone, and you can change not only your life but other people's lives. To take the concept and go, hey, this document that I wrote that's 11 pages long, and people love it, and they're telling me they just wish they could get results quicker. Listening to your clients, listening to your customers, creating a 7-day jumpstart, and then selling over $500,000 of an ebook.
Yes.
How many pages?
Oh my gosh, it started out at 13 pages, and it is now, it's been redone. It's a lot larger than that now.
So let's change. Don't you think that you have something that if you just thought about it, you could share 11 pages, 10 pages, anything? It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. It wasn't like you invented dieting, or that you invented any other thing. It was just, it's your special take on it.
Yes, and that's the key there. You can't do it just to do it. Anyone can do it,
right.
But it has to be something that you are proud of and are knowledgeable at. And
right.
if you're sharing and you're being your authentic self and sharing that information, there are people that want it. There's a lot of people that want it,
and you don't have to be an expert, and you don't have to wait for someone to knock on your door and say, we want to give you the cover of the magazine, or we want you to, we want to invest in your company. It's like, have a great idea, sit down and get it out there. And that's why Natalie is such a testament to those of you who you've helped other people, or you've figured something out that you could put together an ebook, and nobody understands how to do that, and how to create an income from it, and how to market it with social media like you do. That's why I originally reached out to you, is because I'm like, this is brilliant. When I was studying Instagram, and a lot of the content for what I've learned about Instagram, which was a 9-month process of just talking to all the people who I saw were killing it on Instagram, which you were one on my list, and taking all that information and boiling it down and helping people understand how a platform like Instagram can support your family. And that's part of the Marketing Impact Academy. And in that process of doing the research, I was watching what you and Brooks were doing, and I'm like, this is brilliant. So you found a way, and I know you're going to help other people do this. And that's the other thing, is when I connect with people, I either decide this is someone who shares, or it's someone who's like this with their answers, like, that's what I'm doing, but don't look at my answers. And I knew you were like, oh, here, let me tell you everything I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, I found a soul sister. Someone who's like, the universe is big enough. I'll tell you exactly what I did. And I'm like, and I'll tell you exactly what I did. And we're like, friends for life.
I like it.
So you were like, this is what I'm doing. And I have all these other people who are selling my ebook on Instagram, on Facebook. And not only I'm helping them. I'm helping college students pay their rent.
Yes.
I'm helping all these people because I'm giving them a way to make money in social media, like talking about stuff that they love.
The ebook, the way I went about doing it was great, and anyone can do that. But there are some things I've learned along the way about social media and about marketing it and about streamlining it and making it easier, that if I had known that stuff, I would be even further along right now.
Oh yeah,
and I would have saved some time for sure. And it's funny because when you make the commitment, I look at it as it's a commitment in your business. You decided you want to do this, and once you decide and you make this commitment, you're investing in yourself, which is the same way I would talk to somebody about a nutrition or a fitness plan. You're investing in yourself, and you're deciding to make the change that you're going to do this yourself online because
you decide you want it.
And those of you that know me or have done my programs, you know that I take everything from the standpoint of accountability, that you decide you want to do something, but then you take the steps to actually implement it. So that sometimes people ask me, why do I have to go through my goals or do a vision board with the diet plan? Because I think that's the bigger part of it. You have to understand that first, and you have to know your why. You have to know where you're going. You have to understand that big picture first, and then it makes it a lot easier to implement and do the things that you have to do.
Right.
So the same way I lay out my workout and nutrition programs is the same way I treat business.
So for me, even despite all the products that I've created and countless videos and programs and seminars. Do you know the one thing I've never done? Well, I should say that. I did one about 15 years ago. I tried to do an ebook. Is an ebook. Like, you're the expert that I would go to. Because it's really a shortcut. And I don't think that's what people understand is, like, you can spend hours figuring it out. You can figure out how to write an ebook online. But why not go to someone who's made the mistakes and found the shortcuts to success, who, I mean, just forget about all the ways you've got to connect with people on Facebook, et cetera, and social media. What you're doing on Instagram, people need to know about. People need to understand how to get their product in other people's hands, and all the ways that you are helping other people generate income by selling your ebook.
Yeah, I just think it's such a powerful tool, especially I think about who I was, and that single mom, newly divorced, financial wreck, who really didn't I felt like I had nothing. And I didn't want to I felt so intimidated by what I had to do to be successful. And I want to show others that you don't have to have all those resources and access to all that. You can do it with something you're passionate about and that you believe in, that you want to share with others. You can do that.
You know what else I love about it? I'm sorry to interrupt, but for so many people, they're afraid to go on camera. They're afraid to share their message when they see a little red light. And I think, gosh, I mean, to look at the type of life you've been able to create without having to go on. I mean, now you've got videos, and now, like, people know you because they see you on video all the time. But I think the backstory there for anyone, especially people who are like, I'm not comfortable on camera, is to know, but I've got the knowledge and I want to share this. To be able to do that with an ebook is phenomenal.
And it goes back to the cart or the horse, or the chicken or the egg. You know, it's always amusing to me when people say, well, you are doing well with ebooks because you have this following and this brand. And I thought, I didn't have that. Nobody knew who I was. You don't have to. You create that. And
so I'm very impressed in people, because I know this is important knowledge. This is best practices. This is years of research and trial and error.
Yes.
What do people get when they come and spend the weekend with you and Brooks?
So they're
what can I expect?
They get 2 full days of our full attention with this, and we cover everything in this. We're going to go through everything from.
So what if I don't know what my ebook? We're going
to help you. We are going to get down and dirty with you, figuring out exactly what your passion is, what you have that's unique about you, what you can offer, and we're going to help you. We're going to help you.
How long it should be.
How long it should be. What it should look like. How to create it. How to have it hands off so it can sell for you while you're sleeping. How to create a sales page describing what it is. How to price it right. How to market it. How to use social media for it. How to find affiliates.
You know, the other thing, gosh, all these great ideas keep coming to me. When you have a book, you've got credibility. The author of the 7-Day Jumpstart. Like, that alone, people think you have to get a publishing deal. You don't. You've got the knowledge. Here's the expert.
Yes.
Spend a weekend with her and Brooks. It's an amazing opportunity. That's right around the corner. I want to tell people, let's create your 6-figure income. Amazing. Like, seriously, hello, #duh. You learn how to market everything. Automate this process. Learn from the experts. We've been there. We know how to do it the wrong way. We know how to do it the right way. And I think we're both, the one thing we have in common is we just believe in sharing. Like, once you figure it out, share it with other people, and then good things happen for all of us. It's been my pleasure to be here today with my good friend Natalie. Thank you so much for giving us your time and just being open-minded to the possibilities. You know, don't let perfection or anything else stop you, because you know what's on your heart. You know that you want to do this. And when you have people who've been there and they've done it, and we want to share with you, and your success is really dependent upon us being great teachers and showing you exactly how to do this. I mean, anything is possible. So we're really excited about having you and spending some personal one-on-one time with Natalie and Brooks.
Bye.
Bye, guys.